as I was saying, what I think about the way they're perceived and treated, like I said before, rough. Opportunities not as fast as you would think they should be. People's attitudes toward them, not good. Of course, my grandmother being mixed didn't really help much of any of that either. She used to tell us stories about how she used to be looked at like she was dirty because she was mixed, even though that's, one, not her fault, and two, why does it matter? I guess it's just how people were back then. They cared about stuff like that if you were white and black. There is a growing focus on multiculturalism in the United States. Do you think that there is a need for this? Yes. Why shouldn't there be one? Why should there not be multiculturalism? I think the only way that we would ever get past all of this so-called hate is if everybody accepted what was happening and just went with it. There's no need for you to be angry about cultures mixing together. I mean, now you can have those people who would prefer their culture stay their culture, and no one's gonna be upset with you about that, but well, I mean, there are going to be people upset with you about that, but I mean, it's their culture. If they as a whole would like to keep their culture to themselves, fine. However, like I said, I don't think that there's any way of getting around all of this hostility, anger, resentment, these issues, unless we have multiculturalism. What are your thoughts on immigration? Have at it. Come in, don't do what you want. The way it's handled here is pretty crap. I get why it would be hard to come here, but it should not be that hard. It is a place to live. If they would like to be here, don't make them go through 17 hoops and bounds just to do it. That just seems wrong. Public assistance like welfare, yes, needed in all accounts. Whether that be for adults, young adults, children, perfect. Bilingual education. Is that even a question? Yes, that's very important. Bilingual education is needed, especially for immigrants or immigration. If they don't speak the main language, it would be helpful to have a teacher who can teach them what they need to know in their own language, or help them better understand as someone who speaks their language and learned English, or vice versa. Affirmative action. I assume that means on the nose, on the money, like right at it. That's how things get done. Racial profiling. We could do without. That's been a huge issue these past couple of years. Racial profiling, assuming that somebody jogging in your neighborhood is of suspicion. Reverse discrimination. As much as I think that is a joke amongst the younger generations, don't do it. You're not going to get any benefit out of turning the discrimination around. I mean, it may soothe your burns for a little while, but at some point, it's going to cause the same issues it caused for us. Fighting fire with fire doesn't usually work. It just makes a bigger fire. White privilege. If you have white privilege, use it for good. If you know that your white complexion will get you and potentially others out of a bad situation, do that. If you know that you having white skin means that you could pass certain legislations, pass those certain legislations. No need to hold on to your white privilege and pretend like you can't use it for good. It may get you out of trouble, but it also may get everyone else out of trouble. Share the privilege, please. Images. In your opinion, how would you describe the representation of the following groups in the news and media? Whites. A pretty even distribution between fantastic, great, they're doing an amazing job, and there's like a couple of bad seeds. Latinos, I don't really see many Latinos in the news and media. Usually when they are talked about, it's like a hit TV show or a movie. Like Encanto is raging right now. It's probably the biggest news that I've ever seen. Or that one serial killer that was on everybody's Netflix account. Native Americans, they are projected as fighting for what they should be fighting for. They want what was taken from them. They at least want basic rights, not to be treated the way they are being treated, and for people to listen to them. However, we live here, so as much as they speak up on it, you best believe there are people who are either A, ignoring it, or B, taking it off the TV. Black people, well, we all know how that's going. On the news and in the newspaper every other day as some story headline for either being murdered or committing a crime. We are usually portrayed as bad people, and then you have a nice little sprinkle of amazing Black people who've done this or who've done that or done this, like become president or started their own business or became a professor to do God knows what. Asians. Don't really see much going on there. I watch a lot of Asian TV, so that's where I get my fulfillment of news and media. Arabs. People are still a little dicey in that area. The common jokey joke that they're terrorists. Annoying and stupid and childish. Grow up people. Physically disabled. Treated like they can't take care of themselves. Not all physical disabilities completely take a person out of the game. You could be a double amputee and still get up out of bed by yourself in the morning. Like, it's still completely stigmatized, which is ridiculous. Elderly. Right now, they're kind of being like handheld through everything. Like, Nana's 90th birthday is on the news. COVID's affecting old people in the worst way possible. Okay, I shouldn't say like handheld or coddled or anything like that, but it's mostly giving us kind of like the sad end of it and then good end of it and then something in the middle. And then LGBTQ, we're getting yelled at. It's either our gay agenda, somehow turning non-gay things into gay things, if that makes sense. Like, for example, a rainbow is a gay token, and anyone who has it is, albeit gay. Even if they are a child who just liked the rainbow. Or the representation is, there's like a whole bunch of different things going on now, like new sexual orientations, new genders, new gender identity. There's a lot of new going on there, and more representation. Gotta have more representation. For the groups listed, how would you describe the representation in entertainment, media, TV and cartoons? Yeah. Obviously, shows and TV shows have that one token black person, but of course, they have like BET and TV and stuff like that, where usually black targeted TV shows are. Same thing with Latinos and Asians and Arabs. Like, they have designated TV shows for those designated groups. Now, not to say that a black person couldn't go and watch some Asian TV and be fine and love it and be all for it, but those shows aren't necessarily directed towards me. They're directed towards their Asian audiences who watch those shows. Personal identity. Have you ever thought about your own race or skin color, so sexual orientation, age, religious faith, based perspective? Yeah, all the time. A lot when I cared was when I was younger, of course. As a kid, because I was around more people not of my skin color than I was people of my skin color, I did question my skin color and race quite a lot, wondering why I was cursed with my skin. I grew out of that, obviously. Love my melanin. Sexual orientation, I questioned it quite a bit. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't really question it. There was never any solid connection on I like this, I like that, I like this, I like that. It was pretty much free flowing. So I didn't really question it much. For my age, I guess I would say I question if I'm in the right spot for how old I am, like as in at 18, when I graduated high school, at that age you were expected to go to college. At a certain age you were expected to go to high school. At a certain age you were expected to go to middle school, like stuff like that. Or if saying you want to get married at 21 is absolutely insane, and to most people I am insane. That's fine though. Don't really care what other people think. It's my life. Religious faith. My grandmom is Christian. My grandfather is Muslim. So I had two conflicting faiths going on there. Well, not really conflicting. They're actually pretty similar, but I wasn't really up for religion. I didn't really believe in higher powers up until right around mid-high school. And even then, I wasn't really sure if it was Christianity, Muslim, Islamic, Buddhist, Hindu. I wasn't really sure what it was that I actually believed in, so I just kind of abstained. Not really looking for a religion to follow. What does it mean to be a person of your race, ability, sexual orientation, age, religion, faith, based on perspectives in the United States? In the United States, what it means to be me is a loud, proud Black woman. Aggressive in most case scenarios, stand clear, or you may get yelled at. Intimidating. I do not find myself intimidating, but apparently I intimidate simply by the way that I look at people. In my opinion, that just means, oh, you're Black, you're intimidating. Not that that really, really, like, honestly hurts my feelings, because it doesn't. Because for some Black people, they look at white people and go, oh my God, you're intimidating. Just depends. To be me as an American also means I may or may not face some type of situation where I may be told to go back to where I came from. Yes, that did happen. Told someone doesn't want to date me because of my skin complexion. Looked at in an odd way when I like certain things that are deemed white-like, or looked at an odd way when I don't like things that are deemed black-like. Eyelashes and nails all the way out to here. I don't do those things. Face full of makeup is what a girl should do. No, I don't like makeup. I think it's bad for the skin and never want to use it. Just being who you are here in any aspect is a raging fist fight. There's like no way around of being the perfect person here. Not that there is anywhere else, but from my personal experience, it just feels like you're in a box and the walls just keep going. And at some point you'll get squashed. Unless you're a person who just doesn't really care about those things. How has it impacted your life? Positively and negatively. Positively, obviously I have thick skin. Stuff don't hurt me, as you would think it should. Somebody yelling at me in Walmart to go back to Africa does not hurt my feelings. I have never been to Africa. I was born here. So, idiotic words like that don't sting. Negatively, to be honest, nothing has really affected me negatively yet. I say yet because, well, I live here. Everyone talks about systemic racism and how the system isn't set up for us. And though I do believe that, I haven't encountered that issue. Not saying that I won't. I haven't gone out into the real world yet. So I guess we'll see how that would negatively affect me later on. What will be the consequences of acting against the isms? Anti-Semitism, racism, ageism, sexism, ableism, and colonialism. A beatdown, depending on what group you go to. The consequences of having a different idea on any of these and what the majority group holds means a slap in the face. With family, an actual beatdown, like, yes, literally. Everybody in my family likes to throw hands. With friends, probably a falling out. Don't speak to each other anymore. That would be the consequences there. At school, potentially getting kicked out. Not being able to be in that class or be taught by that teacher. At work, fired. Or hey, if you have what they're looking for, promotion. I just realized I was listing all the negative things. Do you currently challenge the isms? If so, how? If not, why not? What will hold you back? That depends. Usually, yeah, I do. Unless it feels like I'm wasting, or it feels like I would be wasting my breath if I said anything. Obviously, the main ones would be racism, ageism, sexism, ableism. If I'm sitting in a classroom and somebody says something that seems a little shysty, I'll call it out. If I'm sitting in a family function, I'll keep my mouth shut for the sake of family ties. Strangers are easier to call out than family members. And that's that. That's all my answers.